Hi everybody, it's Allison Ruth here, that's my middle name, sewing in trifocals again tonight. And I finished cutting out a blouse out of t-shirt material, so I have some extra fabric, and I decided to be brave, and I'm going to try for the very first time the beading foot on my Serger. That's not right. Serger. I hope that wasn't a Freudian slip. So, even though I seem to be having a little trouble speaking my native language of English, here is my little beading foot. Let's see if I can put it up in front of the camera. There we go. And you can see the tunnel that the beads are going to go through in the back. This is actually the front here, which has kind of a reverse tunnel for the little beads to go through. And I did find some guidance on YouTube. Not a lot of guidance, so I'm kind of faking my way through this as well. But first of all, whoops, there goes a pencil. For the lower end sergers like what I have, they say please move your knife out of the way and only keep your right needle in. I took the left needle out. And you can see up here, the left needle's at 0 because it's not in. I have the right needle at the same setting it always was. They didn't say much about that. And then they said to have the upper looper, which is this one, at a lower tension of around 3, and then the lower looper at a higher tension of 7, which sounds kind of scary. But I'm going to put the beading foot in, and we'll run it through without some beads and see how the stitching comes out. And then I'm going to try it with beads. And hopefully nothing will catch fire or explode while I'm doing this. Whoops, of course my tripod's going to tip over. I did want to make a happy announcement. I'm getting a real video camera. It should arrive in the mail tomorrow. It's a high 8 that uses tapes, which is the kind I used to have. So I know how to use it. At some point I may progress to another kind of video camera that's more modern, but I have some high 8 tapes of the family and so forth, so I wanted something I could play them on and put on the computer. But I will be able to see myself on that little digital screen, and I won't have to switch between selfie mode and regular mode. And I sincerely hope that the quality of my videos will improve. I am putting my faith in that. I hope it's true. Anyway, I have the t-shirt fabric under here, and I'm going to use the settings that the person that had the YouTube video said to use. There was one YouTube video with a fancy baby lock machine that has lots of automatic settings, and then another person with a serger more like mine. And so I'm following that second person's advice. We'll see what happens. Here we go, and I'm putting the fabric right on the edge where it would be cut if it were going to be cut. Well, it seems like that lower tension, look right here, a little too high. Look at how it's crumpling up like that. You can see that? So I think we're going to set that back down to like 4 and see how that goes. Maybe we can put this over here. Okay, that's too close. No, I'm telling you, my videos are bound to get better. They couldn't be any worse than they already are, right? So here we go. Anyway, you can see the... Let's see what happens here. Huh. It still doesn't look all that great, does it? Better. It's better. Maybe I just kind of... Huh. Well, what the heck. I'm going to go ahead and put the beads in here in a minute, and we'll see if anything good comes out of this. So I found pink beads first in my sewing basket, so we're going with pink beads, white fabric, and green thread, but at least it will show up. Now, with the help perhaps of my tweezers, I'm going to see if I can fit these beads into the foot. I'm thinking probably you need to lift and press your foot up. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of guidance, so... Gee whiz. Okay, it's up now. And we're going to see just how awkward this is to do. I'm assuming that we lay it like that. The person in the video had already loaded their presser foot. It might be a good idea to open up that front door, which you can't see, but open it up just so you have more room to maneuver. And here is, I'm going to lay this down like this. And when you use a serger a lot, your tweezers become one of your most indispensable tools. Because there seems like there's a lot of little places that you have to get thread into and so forth. Gosh, these things. They want to go everywhere but where I want them to go. The struggle is real, people. Okay, I'm going to try a little something come behind here. Okay, at least it's behind the presser foot now. Okay, I'm going to pull them along a little bit and then drop the presser foot. Okay. Haha. Okay, and now, whoops, for heaven's sakes. Yeah, it is going to get better when I have a camera, a regular video camera. My apologies, I knocked my phone over. Okay, now we're going to just kind of make sure that we have enough of a lead here with my beads, so that they don't just come out the front end over here. Okay. Now we'll close our door, and we will just hope for the best here. That's the worst thing that can happen, right? Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, hey. Seems to be working. I'm going to move this a little bit closer. You can see that just naturally here, if I can get you to be able to see this. We'll see how well this works. Anyway, the serger thread of the loopers is going right in between the beads here. Look at that. Extreme close-up. Oops, I just hit something. Apparently I hit a bead. Oh, look at that, folks. I bent a needle, but it worked for a minute or two, didn't it? Anyway, let me just cut the thread and we'll see how this looks. I guess I shouldn't film this while I'm doing it, because I just bent another needle, but needles are cheap. And let's see if I can just sort of move this out of here. One moment. Well, it's not perfect, but until I bent my needle, you can see here's where I started. And the loopers just naturally, the looper thread just went in between the beads. Now let's look at the back side here. So this works pretty well. I'm going to have to watch very carefully. I think I wasn't holding my needles, I mean not my needles, my beads far enough to the right, and that's why eventually the needle smacked it. And here's how the back looks. And tell you what, it is not bad. I think I've got the tensions pretty much right for this, and you can see it over edges the fabric. So it looks like this is probably the process I'll go with for the beaded edges of my shirt, but I will give you a demonstration of how to apply beads with your sewing machine too. Because, here I am, part of me, not everybody has a serger. But everybody who sews has to have at least a sewing machine, and most of us have a zigzag machine. So I will show you how to do it on that. That's the process I'm most familiar with. I'm new to this process here, and here's a nice close-up of that poor bent needle. And I'm just very glad that needles are cheap, but it looks like I have the tension settings right for my machine, which would be 3.5 for the right needle, no left needle in. And we have a 3 for the, whoops, for the lower looper. I'm sorry, I've got that backwards. This is the upper looper. I'm just batting 1,000 tonight. This is the upper looper. That is a 3. Kind of a loose tension because the thread does have to go between beads and over some string. and then the lower looper a little bit higher tension of 4, not 7 as was advised on the video, but that person had a different brand of serger. Mine is 1993 Simplicity brand EZ, letters EZ 100, and each serger is kind of individual, just like each sewing machine is. It's really important to do what I did, which was sew some tests on your scrap fabric. But this really isn't bad, and of course it would look much better if it had the appropriate color thread. But at least you can see it really does work, and I am glad that I bought this little beading foot probably in the year 2010, and here we are in 2017, and I'm finally getting to use it. Thank you for coming along on my learning journey here, and maybe tomorrow night, maybe if my camera arrives, I will film how to apply beads with your sewing machine and a beading foot on the regular zigzag sewing machine. Happy sewing, everybody.